Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with another comparison. I think this is probably the last of these, but I do want to do one more comparison with the Cold Steel American Lawman, and this one was requested a number of times. I want to compare it with the Cold Steel Ultimate Hunter. Now I've got to say, I love both of these knives. I carry both of them quite a lot, and sometimes I even kind of go into the room where I have my collection up on the wall and look and go, gee, which one am I going to carry? It's a really, really tough decision. Okay, so I'm just kind of telling you that my bias is for both of these. Okay, and if you can afford both, I think they're both awesome knives. I will compare some things here that are different, and probably for most of you out there, you will lean toward one or the other. For me, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. What I will do at the end of this is kind of say, look, if this is what you're looking for, lean this way. If that's what you're looking for, lean that way. And I think that's really the best I'm going to be able to do on these guys. I have thought about this for a while now. I've had these two knives sitting on my desk for a couple days, kind of waiting to make this video, thinking about which one do I like better. And I can't really give you a decisive answer on that. So I hope this isn't too disappointing to see a comparison where I don't kind of declare a decisive winner. Although I think that's probably happened at least once or twice before. So let's get into this. Size and weight on both of these. First is the American Lawman. And you guys know that with this new 2015 update, I was really impressed with the size and weight. So 8 1/8 inches overall, 3 3/8 inch blade, 4 3/4 inch handle, and this weighs in at 4 ounces, so fairly lightweight, and it is also very thin. It's about 3/8 of an inch thick. All right, so lightweight, very thin, going to carry really, really well in the pocket. The Ultimate Hunter, on the other hand, and I'll put these side by side for a second so you can see this. The Ultimate Hunter is bigger at 8.5 inches. Okay, the blade on this is 3.5 inches and the handle is 5 inches, so there's lots of handle there. This handle is thicker, okay, so it's more hand-filling in terms of its girth. Now it is narrower, okay, so you can kind of see this one is stretched out a bit. All right. So in terms of carrying these in pocket, oh, by the way, this one is 4.8 ounces, 4.8 ounces. So still not bad, I don't think. So now how do these two compare to one another? There's no question that the American Lawman is lighter and smaller. Okay, so it definitely is more comfortable in pocket. And so if it just comes down to comfort of carry or how convenient it is, yeah, the Lawman is in a smaller package, no question. And to my mind, it's a little more efficient. You're getting quite a bit of cutting power in this small package as well, okay? So I will say, in terms of being light and easy to carry, the American Lawman definitely comes out ahead in this comparison. Now let's move on and talk about the blade. Both of these are, of course, drop point blades. In this case, you have drop point with a hollow grind. You have the DLC coating on here. And I love the shape of this knife blade. Okay, to me, it's just extremely utilitarian. It's nice and thin behind the edge. You've got that pretty deep hollow grind on there, which makes it slice like a demon. Okay, slices amazingly well. Because it's a hollow grind, you still do get quite a bit of material out here at the tip, but it is a fairly, and it's not like a Spyderco, guys, but it is a fairly fine tip. Now, I've never worried about breaking it or anything like that. I don't use my knives for prying, so that's not really a thing for me, but I don't think it's not on the top of my list. Be really careful you don't drop it or something, because you might break it. Now, let's move over and look at the Ultimate Hunter. The blade on this is a flat grind. It's a lower flat grind, which means overall there's more steel here, okay? It is longer by a little bit. It's a more gentle drop point, or I mean, it's a more abrupt drop point, and the belly is kind of moved out to the front. Okay, so you can see how those two compare. Now, the edge geometry on this one is thicker, okay, and you've got a flat grind, meaning overall, as you put these blades side by side, there's more material here and more toughness and durability here, okay? Is it so much so that I'm going to say this one is, I mean, the blade is tougher, but I'm going to say this knife's tougher than this one? Not really, okay? The blade is going to be a little more robust, though. There is that to consider, all right? The other thing that you probably want to consider is the kind of tip you have here. Notice this is a pointier knife than this one is, and that does make the Lawman probably a little more suited to like combat, to any sort of a thrusting, any kind of attacking type stuff, all right? Now, we'll talk about another aspect of that in a few minutes when we get to the handle, but for now, that's how the blades compare. This one's a little slicier, this one's a little tougher. Both are good though. I've done a lot of cutting with both of these blades. They're both very capable. My preference is to the American Lawman blade because of that hollow grind. I do like a hollow grind, and you know, I could imagine how amazing the Ultimate Hunter would be if a hollow grind were put on that blade. It would be so cool. Now, let's talk about the lock. Guess what? The locks are the same. They're both triad locks. Now, I will say, let me try to demonstrate this. See if I can get this to work for me. I don't know if it will or not. Yeah, so you can see that this one will drop pretty freely. This one, not really, okay? So the action on this is a little smoother, all right? But that can be variation within just a manufacturer. Like you could get another American Lawman that drops more like this one. You could get an Ultimate Hunter that's a little stiffer like this one. My experience has been that there is some variation with that in cold steels. Of course, both of these are the triad lock. Both are stupidly strong. And so really it's a tie in terms of lock. What about the handles? Now we're getting to be something that's a little bit different. All right, in the American Lawman, you have this deep finger choil. You've got very grippy, textured G10. It is slabs of G10, so it's just thin, flat slabs. Pretty comfortable, although I complained a little bit about this in my in my initial review of this way back when I had the OS 8 version. Notice that the fat of my hand does come past this handle unless I choke up, okay? Now, I don't choke up a lot. A lot of times I use this knife just like this, and it is comfortable, but okay, this handle is amazing. Okay, it just feels like it was meant for just being in your hand and doing crazy hard work. It's really, really comfortable because of that 3D Machine G10, because of the extra length you have. The other thing that extra length gives you is the option of even choking down or up a little bit. Cold steel usually does that, gives you some variation in grip, but the American Lawman, it's like you're right there or you're right there. Okay, there's not much variation. The Ultimate Hunter, it's extremely comfortable, and it does give you a few different options of where you grip the knife. Okay, so in my mind, while the blade on the American Lawman is better, the handle is superior on the Ultimate Hunter. So now that we've covered all of that stuff, by the way, they both are the typical cold steel clips, and they're tip up, left or right side carry. Both of them have a lanyard hole that's totally sufficient for 550 cord, so that's really a moot point. I will say this, if you prefer satin, you may want to look at the Ultimate Hunter. It comes in satin. This only comes in black. Now, I'd love to see that change. So if someone from Cold Steel watches this, I would love to see a satin American Lawman, a satin Recon 1, a satin AK-47. Right now, I think the only blade they offer both in is the Swift, which is also a great blade, and the lock has been modified slightly, so I need to pick up a new Swift, take it apart, and make a video about that, but that's somewhere down the road. Okay, so get back to our main focus here. These two blades, which one is the winner? Which one is my favorite? I'm really not, I like the handle on the Ultimate Hunter. I like the blade on the American Lawman. Here's the best way that I know how to put these down. Both of these are great blades. If you're looking for one blade to be your EDC blade, to be tough and just do everything and do it well, I think either one of these would be totally satisfactory to anyone. I will say if where you use your knife, there's a public you know, there's the option for having it out in public. This one is pretty nice for that because it looks very tame and very safe. Okay, the sheeple are not going to be upset by this one. They probably won't be upset by this one, but the black DLC can sometimes be a little off-putting for some people. You know, black stuff is scary, keep in mind. But here's how I would make my recommendation. If you want to, if your emphasis is on small, lightweight, and capable, the American Lawman is the way to go. If you want comfort and size, the Ultimate Hunter is the way to go. Partially, this depends on how you use your knife. I think the Ultimate Hunter, if you had to have this in hand for like a prolonged period every single day, okay, maybe you use your knife like just over and over and you do a lot of hard cutting tasks, you may want to lean toward the Ultimate Hunter because of that more comfortable handle. If, on the other hand, you know, your knife has to be smaller and lighter, maybe you do a lot of backpacking or do a lot of activities where weight is a major issue, you may want to lean toward the Ultimate Hunter. If you always like to wear skinny jeans, I mean, you know, if you always like to wear skinny jeans, or yeah, where weight is an issue, I may want to lean toward the American Lawman. For my mileage, both of these are phenomenal knives, and I don't mean to be like a Cold Steel fanboy, but I really think both of these designs are really, you know, they've just knocked it out of the park on those two. Okay, there you go, guys. Thanks a lot. Let me know in the comments below which one you prefer. I'm really curious about this because, as I say, I literally could not pick one that I thought was better. So maybe you guys could help out with that and let me know which one you think is superior. We'll talk to you soon.